This is the Ridgehunteroutdoors Podcast. Hey everybody, this is episode number 59. We got the whole crew back for the first time in God knows how long, at least a month of Sundays. Nate was on the last one, I believe, which was 2 weeks ago. I mean, we can get one out last week, but then I don't even remember the last time you guys were on.
Before deer season.
Yeah, I was sorry, I had your mic muted.
Before deer season.
Yeah.
That was back about time Dusty was on here last.
Well, that would have been the last time he was on before the last episode, so I was kind of figuring probably around in there. So, yeah, it's been
a minute.
2.5 months. Almost, yeah, 2 months, I guess. Yep, but you guys have done a little bit of hunting the last couple of days. I know last time me and Nate talked about basically his season, how it had went, and you're pretty much done for the year.
Yep,
as far as
I have surrendered.
Yeah, just kind of based on what you got around, and not really too excited about shooting any of them anyway. Give them another year at this point.
Yes, that's where I'm at.
Have you been running cameras since lately?
Nah.
Running more cards?
I got them all up. They're probably all dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. The neighbors might, nah, we ain't got, never mind.
Just leave that one lay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Nobody's out there traipsing around looking for no cards or nothing, so they ought to all still be there.
Yep. I've got cameras that your place, and I got 2 cameras at Jeff, and I got a camera at the cabin and 2 cameras at the North Farm, and none of them have been checked since the second gun season, probably before that. So who knows what's on there. The cell cams have been running a little bit, but I haven't got much on those. They did have on the 20th, I think I sent it to you, and then I showed you guys the picture of that deer at the cabin that had been there. The biggest one I've been after this year. He showed back up on the 20th, so if nothing else, at least I know he made the gun seasons, even if I don't get on him the rest of the year, which we got like 2 weeks left, so good chance that won't happen. But anyway, I think
pretty much exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today's Sunday, but this will go out tomorrow. So
yeah.
That means I've got 8 days left.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the only shooter I think I've had since gun weekend or shortly thereafter. The second gun season here was that deer. I know we just mentioned Dusty. He sent me a message yesterday and said that he saw a few nice deer, decent racked bucks, no monsters or anything, but was seeing some moving. But I know that's completely opposite of what you guys have saw the last couple of days. I mean, I don't know about tonight. I ain't asked you about it yet, but
there wasn't anything moving tonight. We surrounded turkeys, but that's about it.
I was looking across one, what's that field? 60-acre cornfield.
So.
And then the other cornfield to the west of it was about 100 and some acres. And there wasn't a deer in sight. They wasn't moving at all.
Yeah. It was pretty warm today.
It was. And we went last night, and we had turkeys on us. And of course, them son of guns can move fast on 2 legs, a lot faster than I can, you know. So they went by me single file like ducks in a shooting gallery, and I couldn't get on them for nothing to save my life. And they went down there towards Scott. And you come close.
I had 3 of them within 40 yards, but there's a total of 10. So I had the other 7 they were all out in front of me, and the other 7 was looking my direction. So I had 7 pairs of turkey eyes looking at me. So I wasn't about to try to draw on the 3 that was out there, but that's as close as I got.
Yeah.
And then they came back around, went back in the woods. Something spooked them because they stopped out there in that field. I mean, their heads went up, and they just looked straight at whatever it was. I didn't see it. Then they came back towards me and then roosted about 50 yards behind me and tore up half the woods and fell down and slobbered. And I thought there ain't a deer within 100 miles of here.
No, there was.
Yeah.
There was 4 of them in front of me, 4 deers, an old doe and 3 yearlings. And they was all out in the cornfield, probably 200 yards out, feeding, you know. And they hit a flipper ditch, and here they come. She was on a line straight to me, and I was like, all right, old gal, me and you's going to dance tonight. And she got out there about 50, 60 yards, and all of a sudden she threw her head up and she looked straight east. And she was bird dogging something, and she wasn't smelling, she wasn't throwing her head up in the air smelling. She was on point. And she started stomping, then pretty soon she started blowing.
I did hear her blow.
She was running back. She'd run west, and she'd come back to that spot and look straight east and blow and blow and blow again. I was like, I know she's not in my scent zone.
Mm-hmm. Where was you at and how far away from her?
Yeah, well, I was straight south of her.
Yeah.
And the wind was out of the southwest.
Yep.
And I sprayed some calming spray up in the air just to see which direction it was going, and it was going way east of her.
Yeah.
So she wasn't in my scent zone.
Nope.
So she had something spotted she didn't like. And about that time was whenever Scott said the turkeys threw their heads up and got the heck out of there.
Huh.
So we don't know what it was, but whatever it was, it cleared the whole field.
The deer and the turkeys and whatever they were afraid of was all in between Jeff and I.
Man.
The deer went his way, the turkeys came my way, and we never did see what was. We don't know if it's a bobcat or
Bigfoot.
We don't.
Coyote, it might have been.
Coyote,
I don't know.
Would there have been any chance there'd have been anybody walking around in there that you guys wouldn't have seen or anything?
No, absolutely not.
No, I can cover the southeast and the northeast, and you can cover the southwest and the northwest and the west. So there's nobody getting in and out there anywhere close to that where we're not seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it about had to have been a bobcat or a coyote, which a lot of times the bobcats won't spook the deer, but if that there were little ones with them, if there's a big enough cat, that bigger doe might have just not liked it.
Yeah, the yearlings wasn't paying any attention.
Well, no, especially this time of year when they've been run around by everything under the sun.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, they hear a twig snap now, and they're on
two counties over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It was one gobbler, maybe two, but one decent gobbler, and the rest of them were hens. Mm-hmm. So I counted 10. 2 different times I counted 10. So one time I thought there was 12, but I'm going with 10. And
yeah, it's a pretty good group for down there.
For down there.
Usually don't see that many down. We ain't seen that many turkeys down there in quite a while.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pocket of turkeys right now. I mean, compared to what, like you said, what we're seeing in other places or whatever, you can grab that door and throw that chair in front of it, I guess. So you said you had them roosting there by you tonight, pretty close early?
Oh, no, they wasn't close.
Oh, well.
They about 100 yards out.
Yeah, that's right.
But, yeah, they start flying up the tree between 3:30 and 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I could hear them. I couldn't see them.
Yeah, you was texting. We was on our group chat, and you was texting me and Hunter, and you was asking Hunter, can you hear them turkeys, or is that turkeys? And I'm sitting there, yeah, it's turkeys, because I'm watching them fly up.
Yeah.
That's why she went.
Right.
She's got a turkey tag. And I thought where I had put her, I thought she might be able to see them if they were at the edge of that field there, or filter strip, because I couldn't tell how far out they were.
Yeah.
But
no, that's between me and you guys.
She never saw them. She heard them.
Yeah, so did I. Heard them, tree limbs falling out of the sky.
They're not real graceful.
No, I thought, boy, if there was a deer around, they'd be afraid to come over here and get a concussion.
That's a pretty good group for what, no more than what you see around here anymore, seems like.
Oh, shoot, there ain't a turkey in Orchard Township that I'm aware of.
Yeah. There's, like I said,
that's where we was at. Weren't we in Orchard Township?
More or less.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
Where we were at, killed that bird this spring, there's a few there.
Yep.
Not a bunch.
Yep.
And then there at the cabin, I had that small group this year, but somewhere along about November, I quit seeing them regular and didn't have no pictures of them left. But I might try to get a turkey tag for over there, Jefferson County in the spring, just to see if they're back. I'll probably try to get one for Wayne County too. But you gonna try to do any of that?
What's that?
Kill a turkey this spring?
Nope.
Too many
turkey ticks. I'm not getting out there.
Yeah.
I need to get put in. I think I already missed first lottery.
Yeah, it was December, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about it too.
I need to get put in.
Hard to get a turkey tick. It's hard to get a turkey tick in a John boat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Y'all can go out there and flop around on the ground and chase them birds, and me and him will be in a boat fishing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be a little bit better for fishing next year.
I'm hoping.
Last year's spring was too wet and the fall was too dry.
Yeah.
But which kind of got into some duck hunting too. I don't know if I told you that. There, the place close to where you hunt down south.
Mm-hmm.
Do some bird hunting down there, and there's 3 or 4 little duck ponds that I go set up in and shoot. I kill a few ducks if they're around. And I went to scout it out here a couple weeks ago, bone dry. One of them had about a foot of water in it. That was probably 3 foot wide by 10 foot long, little strip of water in it. The other one was just completely dry from the fall. And we ain't had much rain after that either. But
I ain't seen or heard any woodies on the creek there behind the house either. I don't.
Yeah, may not be enough water in the creek.
There's surprisingly there's water in the creek.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of water in there. It's just I don't know. I just haven't seen or heard them around there for a while.
Yeah, but back to deer.
I went to Hamilton County.
Yeah.
The other night.
Yep. That was what night was that?
Friday?
No, you worked Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday night. Went down there, and they've tore that food plot up. I mean, it looks like hogs have been in there.
Yeah, we're at the time now where if you have any kind of, especially green food source left for them.
Yeah, surprisingly, that was green. And all it was just that throwdown stuff, ryegrass and stuff like that. But
yeah, which if you got some green, because like he was talking about, if you get out looking through the woods right now, there's nothing.
Nothing but honeysuckle.
And they've been hammering the corn, whatever's left in the cornfields and the bean fields for 2-3 months now.
Yeah, down there, the combines and the beans, they'd left a strip about, I don't know, maybe 100 foot long and 10 or 15 foot wide, and there wasn't a bean pod on them. I mean, they're just bare stalks. They'd stripped them bare.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna, if I think about it, because my original plan for my cell cameras was to cut them off at before January started, but they automatically renewed. So before I could turn that off, so I'm gonna take the one from the North Farm there because I'm probably not gonna go back up there again this year. I'll take one of those and put it on the beans there that we got behind your place, just see if anything's in there at night eating on them. Because I'd say at least the does would probably be in there some.
I checked them today.
Yeah, this evening.
And I seen some pods busted open, but then you seen the beans on the ground. So
yeah, they hadn't been in them too much.
I haven't really noticed that they've been in them too much. But we ain't really had that much snow.
Right.
And the clover, I walked out in the clover, and the clover is still green as a gourd. It ain't very tall, but it's green. And so I'm assuming they're out there still eating the clover, not touching the other stuff.
Yep. Yeah, they'll eat that stuff as long as it's green. It's going to be
I still have a camera on the clover.
Yeah, still got a camera on the clover. He's got 2 cameras in the woods, and I got a camera on the north end of the woods that I haven't checked since the first week of November.
Right.
Best deer I saw, the batteries are going dead, and I got a 2-second video.
Yep.
Had it set for 10 seconds. Best deer we saw went, that was it.
That would be my luck.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what it was. Looked pretty good, but it's hard to tell.
But we put new batteries in there, and we had 2 bucks on there.
Yeah.
And, they wasn't.
Next year they'll be worth looking at.
They're in the clover?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen those yet. I don't get it.
They wasn't nothing great, but they had good frames, and, they make another year or 2, they'll be dandies.
At night still?
Oh, yeah.
8 o'clock. Was that when those were? 8 o'clock?
Yep, 8 o'clock at night.
Central Standard Time.
Was that after with time change or without?
Yeah.
Well, it was in December, so yeah.
Well, I didn't know if your camera was reset or if you did the math on that yet. Because mine, I never reset like my regular cameras, I never set the time after time change, so I got to take an hour.
Oh, well, then, no, 7 o'clock then, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. Dark.
Don't matter. It's dark. Dark.
Yeah.
At least 2 hours after shooting light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as they stay off of certain properties, they'll be okay, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people around my area is done now anyways.
Yeah.
They moved on to trapping and calling coyotes and stuff like that, predator calling. So.
You been out doing any of that with your boss yet?
Nope.
You going to?
Probably not.
No? When they give up on you, or you give up on them?
He's got his own thing going on, and he's doing I guess I'll give him a little plug here. Apex Predator YouTube channel and stuff going on.
Oh, yeah?
And so
Doing like the calling videos and stuff?
Calling videos, and they're also selling, my boss, he's selling thermal scopes and high-end thermal scopes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking $6,000 to $8,000 scopes.
Right.
And stuff on that. And so,
How many do you want, Nate?
5 of them. All right.
I can set you up.
We won't tell the wife.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So, anyways,
she would find out very quickly.
They got their own thing going on Apex Predator and stuff, and so they're focused over in the other county on property that they're more familiar with and stuff right now. So,
You got a group of guys doing that?
do they?
Yeah.
I assume they do. I know there's Sean and Dean and my boss Nate, and then there's been a few others that they have going in there. So
right, yeah.
Sean told me Friday when I worked that he killed 7 coyotes in the last 5 days.
Is that right?
5 nights. Yeah. He said he set up Thursday night and called and had one come in 23 seconds.
23 seconds.
Put a 204 in his face and he was done.
Yeah.
So
we could have killed one now with the spotlight that night. We was looking for
easy
for my deer. I mean,
you got we'll call it the bloodlight, right?
Yeah, well, whatever it was. You can spotlight coyotes; it's legal.
That thing came in. He was close.
He wasn't scared of us at all, was he?
He had to be on something.
Yeah, he was under 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Yep.
When he got in there.
And I mean, last weekend we should have been dressed up like Eskimos out there trying to call them, because I saw a bunch of coyotes.
Yeah.
Just running back and forth to Christmas stuff last weekend, you know.
And the coyotes were?
Yeah.
How do they know it's Christmas?
Well, the one, he had his red
looking
coat
for
on.
Rudolph.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I seen him going to work and then back and forth going to Christmas things. They was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen a bunch.
Yeah.
I imagine they was after that minus 35 degrees.
Looking for something to eat to stay warm.
Yeah.
Wind chill, yeah.
Minus 27. Don't be a bragger now.
Whatever, it was too dadgum cold.
He says it's colder on the west side of town.
That's right. Southwest side of town.
Well, you got that wind coming in there.
Yeah, it was coming too.
There's nothing to break it up down that part of the world.
No.
Coming down the hill and gaining speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know that I remember it being, that I ever recall a wind chill that cold here.
I'd like to hear from anybody who went out and hunted in that. Because
there was nobody hunted. Even the deer didn't want to be hunted in that.
I thought about that Thursday night when it started coming in, that Thursday evening. I thought if a guy could go out Thursday evening, he might be okay. But it ended up coming in at like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I was going to say
instead of like 6 or 7 o'clock. If it would have come in at 6 or 7, I was going to try to go that evening. Yeah. Guy might have caught him there right before it.
I'd say you probably could have caught him at noon.
Yeah, and then
deer numbers were like nobody brought anything in for like 5 days. There,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
The other thing would have been like if you could have went out right after that, but the wind still was blowing 25 mile an hour after it calmed down. So
yeah,
deer might have been moving, but
like 3 or 4 days there, it just blew.
Yep. Because that was the other thought I had as well. If I can't hunt it maybe before it comes in, when it breaks a little bit, it's still going to be cold, but maybe the wind will stop and
it never stopped.
But it didn't. No, for like 4 days. And I wasn't about to go out there in that.
It's rough.
I had a duck permit too down at Union County that Saturday when it was like -4 in the daytime. No thanks.
I seen a couple guys posted on Southern Illinois.
The deer hunters?
Deer hunters thing. And it's like, we're out here in -6 degrees. Who else is out? And there was no comments.
You're it.
You're on your own, buddy. So,
yeah. They make a lot of good warm clothes, but
You'd have to set them on fire.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I ain't sitting out in that kind of weather for that.
There ain't no point in it.
Not for me. Ain't for me. I guess maybe it's for those two people or whoever it was.
I guess.
Hey man, more power to you if you want to.
No,
if you're having fun but don't do it just to be doing it and be miserable about it. That's a good way to run your hunting.
Or get hurt or frostbite or.
I'm all about doing something miserable every now and then just for some perspective, but nah. I don't want to do something that's supposed to be fun and it be miserable.
I do not have that kind of ambition about myself.
No.
I don't even generally go this late in the season. I have an opportunity to, but the last couple of days has been warm enough that it's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe next weekend might be as well. I don't know.
It's supposed to be in the,
it's going to cool down, I think.
in the
Highs in
upper
the 40s,
30s,
though,
low
right?
40s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it ain't going to be bad.
It'll be good hunting weather.
Yeah.
Better. Like today, like the last couple of days, at least you're not seeing any deer, but you're not doing it when it's 15 degrees outside.
I'm going to have
It's nice to sit out and be out there.
Going to have to change strategies next weekend because
Yeah.
what I'm doing right now ain't working out. I got too much human activity that I didn't know about until tonight.
Where you're at, where you guys have been going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I know where they're been pushed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll probably get my little 18-inch chair and try that next weekend and see what happens.
Still on the ground?
Still on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. It's hard to get an old man like me off the ground.
Oh, no, it's a lot of fun to climb. I still climb.
Yeah, we climbed last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I just don't enjoy packing it in there and packing it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the biggest reason I went to they're just cheap hang-on stands, most of them, but
Yeah.
Ain't no such thing anymore.
well, at the time, they were fairly cheap, and I started to accumulate them because I just got tired of packing my climber in everywhere, and it's just so much easier just to go take your backpack and your bow and slip up a tree.
I want to try to find, now that the season's over, Walmart, whatever, and find me some decent ladder stands on clearance sale.
Hey, go to Rural King right now.
Is that right?
Right.
They're $64.
Don't tell everybody.
Hey, now.
I didn't tell them what.
That's
Rural
in
King.
Kansas City.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yes.
Doggone. It wasn't Rural King. Never mind. Scratch that from the record.
Tractor Supply, right? You got them confused.
King.
But no, a store in the town where you work has a bunch of them on sale right now. I seen them just the other day.
All right.
And they's only about 15 foot high.
That's about all you need.
There ain't much to them. That the top step is your platform. It's about not even as big as that chair right there, and then it's a seat on top with armrests. There ain't much to them, but they're like 60% off or something.
I kind of like those. Okay, if you can get them set up in the tree right, I think I've got one like what you're talking about.
Yep. If that platform went all the way back to the tree and the seat would flip up, I would have 35 of them things.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Do a little fabricating.
Fabricating.
You could.
I don't mind packing my climber in because it's way more comfortable than what you guys are talking about.
It is.
I cannot get comfortable in those.
Yeah, that's one of the things about a climber is they're about the most comfortable stand you can sit in my opinion.
Get that thing set up just right, prop my knee up on the bar and lay back there and
Go to sleep.
Well, I've been maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I've slept, but maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I have.
Yep.
I ain't going to do that.
I don't know if there's anything went underneath me or not.
What kind do you have?
I got a Summit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the older Summit.
It's got the bar out in front, like the shooting bar.
Yeah.
I like that because I can prop my knee up on my knee, either one of them or both of them up there, and I can kind of lay back and I don't have to worry about falling out.
Yep. He's got a steel one.
Yeah,
he's got the aluminum ones.
I got a Viper.
That's what I got.
Aluminum one, and he's got steel.
It's considerably lighter.
Oh yeah, you can tell a big difference.
Yeah, but even those, like
mine will climb anything you want to climb it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up a telephone pole before,
a
power pole before. I sure have.
Yep,
never slipped one time.
Don't
tell the local power company. I had to try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we used to try them. Remember when we made them TV tower stands?
Yeah.
Well, we'd always prop them up on telephone poles, see how high we was.
Right.
A couple of times it was a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Had to saw a couple.
Reach up there and hit the neutral wire. A little high.
Whoops. Saw a foot or two off.
I think we need a red flag.
That's right. Oh, you have no idea. It's a wonder me and him's still alive.
I know. I was just thinking about the story you was telling the other night.
Which one was that?
About falling for 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's an hour.
Was it? Oh, well, not 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's better every year.
Yeah. You want me to tell it, I guess?
Well, that's why I asked.
Back in the day, before hang-ons and all that, ladder stands and all that, and there was very few climbers, actually. You just kind of made your own stand, and so somebody come up with this idea of using TV towers.
Hell, there for a while, you couldn't even find a TV tower.
You couldn't find a
like
TV
hot
tower.
commodity.
Yes, and so we get these TV towers, the three-legged
Oh yeah.
triangle
I got a
shaped
bunch
TV
of 'em.
towers. We'd get those, and the lighter the better.
Yep.
Because you had to pack them in. Well, we'd get them 12, 15 feet long, sometimes a little bit longer, and decide that was too tall. And so you'd bolt a piece of plywood up on top of them, cut a V out for it to go up to the tree. Then we'd bolt some turnbuckles onto it, and then just use a dog chain to wrap around. You'd get her up there on the tree, and you'd screw it down till it was tight. And didn't have no seat. You just flopped your butt down on the plywood, or you stood up.
Or you packed a seat that you got.
Yeah.
You could buy one of them little bitty old seats.
Or a milk crate.
Or a milk crate. We did that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, that was our stands back then. And they worked pretty good, actually. They worked real good. And so, anyways, we was at this one woods, and we was putting up this TV tower stand, and I was up there. Scott, he was holding the stand for me, trying to push me up against a tree. I was inside. I was between this tower and the tree, underneath the platform, tightening up the turnbuckle. And so
he's pushing against me, and I'm pushing against him, so he won't fall away from the tree.
Yeah, you got vision this in your mind's eye. So, anyways, we got that, and I thought it was tight enough, and you kind of gave it a wiggle while the platform moved. And I told Scott, I said, I think I need a couple more turns.
That'll just get you that extra couple inches you need around the tree for the shot.
Yeah. And so I went about one turn too many, and the chain broke. Well, the only thing between me and the ground was Scott and the TV tower. So he sidestepped. And so here I am riding this thing down. I'm like, this is going to hurt. Now I gave a little bit of a twist, so that way I made sure I was in the right position wherever I landed. And thank goodness we crashed through. I crashed through a bunch of saplings and stuff because they slowed my descent.
What position were you in?
A bad one.
A bad one. A bad one. All I could see was the ground coming up fast. And the only thing between me and it was the TV tower. So about the time we almost hit the ground, I kind of gave a side bail and rolled off of it. Then he didn't even ask if I was okay. I just looked over and he was rolling, laughing, and tears.
I only had two choices with that tower, lever A and lever B. I thought, I better lever B.
So, and back then you didn't have harnesses and safety straps and all that. It was just
a dog chain and a turnbuckle.
That's right.
Just dumb
So
luck.
you know what we did?
Ride it out till you die, I guess.
We propped that rascal back up against the tree, and we
Yep.
got another link on the dog chain. And we tightened
her back up.
One less turn.
One less turn.
And we hunted out that son of a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. And I had that old doe blow at me every time I went.
That's the same stand until we moved it.
Yep. And I killed her children.
Showed her, didn't you?
Our child.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can't get them. You got to make them feel it otherwise.
That's right. Yep.
He's talking about climbers and trying them out, My first time ever videoing a guy, he'd be a guy you all know. I won't say his name or nothing. This was back in high school. I think I gave him a climber, an old one. I said, you got to try this out before we go, And he said, okay. And then we went, and I said, did you try it out? And he said, well, I put it on a tree in the yard. I said, okay, did you climb with it? No, I stood on it. I said, it'd been good if you'd have messed with it so you know how to, how you got to move to get this thing up and down the tree. Because it was one of the most steel ones. It was heavy, and I had a Summit, it was aluminum. It was nice. It was a nice one. I took off climbing. I made it up there just fine, and here he comes up the tree. And I don't know what he was doing, but he was making an incredible amount of noise. He's like shaking his feet side to side and dragging that thing up the tree. And I mean, he just scaled all the bark off of it, by the time he was getting up there. And he made it there. And there was a knot that you had to get over up there. I don't know. We probably stopped when he was 16, 18 foot. We wasn't very high. He got over that knot, and I thought that's probably going to be a problem later on, So anyway, we hunted. I think he shot a doe. I think that it all went okay, I think. But anyway, what I remember the most is when it was time to get down, he starts trying to get down. He said, I can't make it move. He could move around the tree, swing around the tree, but he couldn't get that thing to go down at all. Uh-huh. I said, you got to move your feet like this. You got to pick it up away from the tree and then let it, And he said, it ain't happening. And I'm above him. I'm stuck above him. I thought, there ain't a thing I can do for you, right. And at this point, we ain't going to try to get me leapfrogged around you, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. Yep. I mean, it got pitch black up there. This was early season and leaves was on his pitch black up there. And you could see cars going by out there on the road, And he said, I'm going to call so-and-so. And he did, and he called his buddy. And that guy come in there and found us in that woods, climbed the tree like a bear, crawled up that tree, and he grabbed a hold of that platform and he pulled it down for that guy. And we finally made it to the ground. And that other guy looked like, he just skin up,
Oh, yeah.
Knees up to his face, just skin up from dragging that stand down the tree.
You didn't think to bring a ladder?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I was never so happy to be back on the ground, but it was a disaster. And would venture a guess to say that guy ain't never hunted out of a climber again.
Probably not.
Those climbers can get you in trouble if you ain't watching.
Yep.
Careful. My first climber was an API. And as a bow hunter stand, it didn't have the front rail. It was just, you just used your arms to pull yourself up with. Ooh. So anyways, me and a buddy of mine, Robbie, we went hunting at a place, and it was late season. We get up in this tree, and I was on this old hard pin oak tree, that you just can't get a bite in for nothing anyways. What I was doing up there's no reason for it, but I was up there. Well, then a cold front come in. Again, every time I went with him, there was a cold front and ice. And
not me. Don't
No, with Robbie.
Oh, okay.
There was cold front and ice and freezing rain and everything else always seemed to happen. So I was up in my tree. He was down a little ways in his climber. It started freezing rain. Well, of course, it was freezing rain on the side that I was facing. And so, anyways, we decided to get down. And he told me, he said, I'll be down and to the truck before you get down, as slow as you are. I said, I bet you ain't, because I'm cold and I'm tired and I'm ready to go to the truck. So I took off down that tree, and the next thing I knew, the bottom of the stand didn't get a bite.
That is one way to go fast.
Me and the bottom of the stand took off down the side of that tree. And we got about 6 to 8 foot off the tree before it finally grabbed a hold, off the ground.
Yeah.
You talk about throwing on the brakes and giving you a jolt.
I bet.
So there I am.
Was the top still up?
Oh, yeah, the top still. I wasn't even concerned about that at that point. I was like, this is going to hurt whenever I stop. And it did. So anyways, then you had that springboard effect.
Yep.
And my feet are strapped in. And so I'm like, I just know I'm going to go over backwards. All this is going through my mind as I'm flying Mach 2 down this tree. So as soon as it hit, and I just threw myself forward and I grabbed that tree. And man, my back jolted, my neck popped. I hurt. So I finally come to my senses, and I got on down to the ground, and he showed up there. He goes, how'd you get down so fast? And I said, well, half of them had got down. The other half's still up there. He goes, what are we going to do? I said, you can leave it there as far as I'm concerned. I ain't going back up there again. So if I remember right, I think he went up there and got the top half broke loose and because he had a better climber than I did at that time. But
Yeah.
and he was on the opposite side of the tree where the ice wasn't at, so he
Yeah.
could get a better bite. But yeah, them climbers, you gotta watch them. You gotta make sure you got the top tied to the bottom, and
Yeah.
Yeah, they make
Otherwise-
ropes for that. Or
Well,
straps.
at the
depending
time,
on
there
what
wasn't.
climber it is. They have ropes and straps.
yep, it was yeah. Like I said, it's a wonder we're still alive.
One of my good buddies, he had a Summit open shot, and he'd never messed with one of them before. He was wanting to climb with it a little bit. We got him a spot set up out there, and he was like you're saying, no rail or nothing. And he, I forget what it was, but I think he got his top section up, and he's getting ready to get a good bite and pull his feet up or something. But anyway, since there wasn't a bar to lean on, he just had hold of the seat, but he pulled it away from the tree. He didn't mean to, but he pulled it away. Of course, I took his teeth away, and whatever it was, he slid down, and he's just ground level. He's only about 2 foot up. The first bite, that thing slid down the tree, and of course, he bent in a U, real fast, and then that had his legs all tensioned up, and it slipped away from him, and it looked like he was a diver springboarding off of a diving board. He shot back about 6 foot and landed on a little log, laid there for a while. Yeah. I saw real quick that I didn't ever want to mess with one of them things.
No, I'll never have a climber that don't have that sitting rail.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
And it's pretty handy for holding your bow on and stuff too. I just threw mine across the.
oh yeah, I always did that too. After I bought that Viper, I
Yeah.
just throw my bow across that
the
sitting
rail.
rail, and
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty nice. But
Do you remember them old tree lounges?
Yeah.
You ever have one of those?
No,
Old man?
I've never.
No, the tree lounger.
wasn't it Old Man Tree Lounge though?
I don't know.
I think it was Old Man made it.
I was thinking they were their own company. I never understood exactly.
Was they?
I mean, that top thing looked humongous.
Oh, it was long as a
Those are the ones that sat
football field.
backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then-
like the same idea as the saddles now, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
well,
what
it
you're
was like
talking about.
almost
It
like
was
a
like-
lounge chair kind
Yeah.
of thing is what they
And then there was a little bitty platform, wasn't there?
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This-
but
a separate
a
piece.
separate piece. Yeah.
Yeah. I never did understand.
They didn't have no teeth on them or no angles or anything. It was just the angle, the down angle of the tree lounger is what.
Gravity's all that did it for you, right?
Yeah, right. We sold a ton of them things for about 2 years, and then they just kind of faded away.
Talk
Yeah.
about putting your faith in something.
mm-hmm.
My
No
dad, back when climbers first came out, he got one. He was messing with it in the it was them old ones. It just had it was just like a piece of angle iron on a V in the back, right?
Mhm,
Wasn't that them for? And you had wing
You had
nuts.
two
and,
wing nuts,
Yep.
and you slid one off, and you slid
Yeah.
that bar around there, and then you tighten that wing nut back. Yeah, yeah.
He said he got up just a little ways in the yard there. Of course, Dad was a big guy, He got up there and thought, this, I don't know about it, And he started trying to climb down. Something happened similar to what you're talking in the ice. The bottom got away from him, and he said he fell and hit the ground, and it bit right there at the end, I think he fell off of it. And he said right when he got on the ground, I thought, this, it's all okay. He said, here come that top down and hit him right on the head. He said he sold it just as fast as he could. He said, that thing ain't worth nothing.
Yeah.
Someone should have had that on video.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've made a lot of improvements over the years, a lot of safety, and
Oh, yeah.
the main thing is it doesn't matter if you got an old one or new one or whatever, harness.
Yeah, and I'm
safety
still
harness.
guilty of it. I don't use a harness
Either.
whenever I use a climber.
Yeah, and I always used to when I'd use them a bunch. I was bad about not throwing the strap around the tree as you're going up. But, man, again, that bottom gets away from me. Even if you got a rope on it. I had one on one time, and I was sitting, getting ready to stand up when the bottom went. And it went and it just turned sideways on that tree. So had I not been holding on good, I could have still fell straight down through that thing,
I always preached to you when you were younger. Safety harness.
I always
harness,
wear it in the
safety
tree.
harness.
It just on the way up, I didn't mess with it as much as I should have. And still now, I need to get some of those, like what you got, that
tree rope.
tree rope.
Yeah.
Yep. Or you just
That's
hook
the
it
way
up
to go.
on your way up, and then you just leave it there.
That's the way to go.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty slick system too.
Oh wait, the lifeline. Yeah.
The lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
that's what I'm talking about.
It's got
Yeah.
a carabiner on it to keep you
Yeah.
from when you.
and that slide knot. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Whenever I had hang-ons that I was, because I took TV towers again, but I would cut that backside off where it was just a two-legged ladder.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd get up there 30 foot high and throw a hang-on up there.
yeah,
Well, whenever I was up there, well, then I'd have a safety harness and
Yeah.
I'd have that carabiner rope on.
yeah.
But to this day, I'm still guilty of it. I don't, and I should. There's no reason why I don't. But in that Summit Viper, I'm so comfortable in it, climbing
Yep.
and stuff. I just don't use one.
Yeah.
But
Do as we say, not as we do.
that's right. Yeah. I figure if I'm going to die, what better way to do it is out there hunting.
Yeah, I mean, there are only a handful of better ways that I could think than that.
Yeah.
That'd be high on the list.
But, you know,
Although I'd rather avoid it if I could.
Well, yeah.
I know what I'm
mean,
going to buy you for a Christmas present.
well, you're late this year.
I will take it late. I will do it still yet.
No, I had one, and it got lost amongst a whole lot of other stuff that I owned a few years ago.
Lost
so
or burnt or
something. I
stolen
don't
or-
know. But anyways, it's not around no more.
I had one year before last. Lisa got me one last year for Christmas, and it's really a sweet one. I had one before that. You had to be an engineer and a gymnast to get in the damn thing, and so
And that made people not want to use them.
it did. It really
Exactly.
did. And I'm out
Yeah.
there on the deck because if I'm preaching to my kids, I got you need to wear one. I'm going to wear one too. So I'm out there on the deck flopping around like a fish trying to get this thing on. Lisa's trying to help me, and I guess she decided I needed something a little bit better. And I went ahead and wore it, but it was not like this new one.
No,
Oh, yeah.
the new vest style ones that they got that throw your shoulders on and
Yeah, you
clip it in the
you
middle.
step through it, and once
Yeah.
you get it set for you and whatever clothes you're wearing,
Yep.
yeah, you step through it and snap that thing up, and you're golden.
Yep.
Yeah,
you
they make
you
some
can't
pretty
even
nice.
hardly tell that you got it on.
No, it
the new
doesn't
ones.
bother me a bit.
Yeah.
I would like to have some jackets that have that slit in the back of
Pass
them.
through. Yeah.
That would be nice because,
You can make them.
yeah, it's pretty easy. Because now, like, I'll walk
I
in
know a
with
guy
that.
with a knife.
Yeah, I walk in without the heavy coat on or whatever.
Yeah.
But even still with that, like with the old ones, I couldn't do it. Now, if I'm up there in the tree and I need to throw my coat on, even still, it's not that hard to just unbuckle that, take the shoulders off, throw a coat on, and buckle it right back. I mean, it's pretty simple. For something that could potentially save your life,
Yep.
it's pretty simple.
If you're only 18 inches off the ground, I think you're probably
I'm
safe.
probably good most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. If
I've-
you fall off your stool and die, then it's
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen him fall off a stool or not. Probably have.
More than likely, but it's more than 18 inches off the ground
Okay.
back then.
there's some other circumstances there too,
Yeah,
probably.
different kind of stool. Not a toilet either.
Yeah, well, you was talking about changing your strategies for next weekend and all the pressure and human activity or whatever. I think that's what probably a lot of guys be running into because like on Southern Illinois deer hunters and all that, and all the groups I'm on, I mean, a lot of people seeing a lot of deer. I think a lot of times what it is, and my cameras are the same way. Like I said, I haven't moved some of them and they need moved. They're set up for spots that are good in early season in the November, and through the rut. But right now, they're not good spots for that. Number one, because they're just not using them anymore. Number two, all the pressure that we've had now has got to move to different places. And they're going to go to where the food's at or where the cover's at.
Yep.
So I think you're probably on the right track. as far as
Yeah, and
what's
all I
going
have
on.
to do is just basically move across the road.
Yeah. And what you were talking about, you didn't really know what all was going on till here today,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential in there for some decent deer. In fact, we knew there was some in there, at least one. And then they just kind of disappeared, and we didn't know why. Now we think we do. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a difference.
And this late in the year, what do you got to lose?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, even if you run a deer off now, it's
well,
time
if
next
you're
year rolls
going
around.
this late in the year, you're going because you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now, you might want to be doing some scouting, late season scouting or
Right.
whatever. There may be other reasons to go, but for me, it's just, hey man, I'm just going to go if I'm comfortable. Let's just go and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you have the food, you still got a pretty good shot at killing a good deer. If there's some left, if there's one left in your neighborhood, and you got the good food, I mean, like I'd be willing to bet the next time you check your cameras, you'll have at least one of those deer back in your the sprout patch there.
Oh yeah, I would think so. That's where most deer end up late season.
And that's got to be about the best food around right now.
I would think so.
Out there.
Yep. That and then the corn across the road.
Mm-hmm.
They're still out there all the time.
You got by far the best green food, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
Have you been up? What's the other plot look like? The south plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they had just annihilated it.
Really?
Because it didn't grow too much.
Right. It was not as thick as the other one.
We didn't have the rain. You know, all the plants. There was a nice thick layer of plants came up. I mean, the seed did as good as it possibly could have for the pretty much drought that I put it in on. You know.
Right.
And then everything that has grown, they just annihilated it.
Yeah.
Certainly not the seed's fault. You know, we just didn't have no water.
Yeah, and up there on that hill too, it's pretty dry to start with.
And full sun all day.
You had some moisture when you planted in the sprout patch, didn't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean it's that creek borders the whole west side, you know, and down there in the shade, it if anything had a chance, it was that, and it did real good.
We just timed yours, that fall part of it, just right.
There's some discussion. There's some discussion about the antlers being down this year due to the drought.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if they didn't have the nutrition
towards the end, like maybe they just didn't finish out.
Just didn't finish out, you know, because
Possible.
we seen a lot of bigger deer this year, but we didn't see the antlers that we saw in the previous 2 years.
Yeah.
Especially last year.
Yeah.
And there was some discussion with some guys that was, you know, if you stress a deer, then they're putting their nutrition towards their survival, not what's growing between their ears.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it could be something attributed it to this year being you hate to say a down year when you have this kind of numbers and, you know, you're still seeing 180s and stuff like that all over, but down a little bit due to the drought, I guess.
Yeah, compared to last year, because last year was but maybe every year will be down from last year.
Well, could be.
I don't remember. I think probably this year the average is probably still higher than it would have been 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe. I don't know, because the last few years have been pretty good buck-wise, but last year just seemed like one of those outlier years as far as antler size, at least what we saw around here, you know, because I don't remember seeing that many 200-inch deer or close to it in the same season in a long time, if ever.
I mean, honestly, there was a few last year, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
there was more than one.
There was a couple here, and there was several like 185 plus deer here too.
Yeah,
so I mean,
we seen 3 over 200 in our shop.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many over 108, like you said, over 185.
Yeah.
And
that's
the one
good for this. That's good for Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that just went out that mounted for the guy, he got it during season. That was in the break room forever. That one never got scored, and he'd have pushed right up there in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
80s, high 80s, 90s.
High 80s at least.
Yeah. And then a guy we got one again for this year, his was like 196 or something like that. And
yeah, when we say 200, we're talking legitimate, scoreable. Not one of these have a couple beers and it's going to be over 200. We're talking legitimate. One of them was 216.
Yeah.
It was stupid big.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it had the frame like, I think it was Jim told me killed that deer with the Drury's last year. That was like 226 or something. This deer had the same frame, just didn't have as much mass. Yeah. If it had a little bit more mass, it's got the frame of a 225-inch deer.
Unreal.
And then the other one that you come in with the guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't kill it, or we'd have talked about that.
Yeah.
But
he'd still be talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, I would be too. But it just had a bunch of points.
Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tine length.
Yep.
I mean, it
looked like a fence.
It did. Yep. Picket fence would have been a fitting name for that deer.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, well, yours ended up being what?
178.
Yeah, right up against 180.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big for a mainframe 9.
Mm-hmm. Really big. So, but then this year, like I said, it just Did see some in the 180s, but not as many up there as last year. Still probably a similar number of bucks.
Size of the deer were bigger this
Body
year.
wise, yeah.
They're just huge.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, even the does.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Well,
we was thrilled to death when we got a
130-pound
130-pound doe to skin.
That was a
like,
small one.
yeah, I was like, good gravy.
Yep. The deer I killed out up there on the north farm had that doe. She was not huge, but she was a good-sized doe. But, I mean, she had an inch and a half of fat on her, too. So I was glad to see that because that's a place where I don't know how much food they get all the time, you know, and where it's at. But it was good to see she was good
She
and
dressed
healthy.
out 130.
I don't remember.
I
She was
weighed
good
her.
size. But, not quite as big as when you shot at his place, I don't think. I don't think she was as long. She might have been. But
No, she wasn't quite as long.
there was one that came in, I think it was a bow kill, though, that was bigger than a lot of the bucks we skinned this year. She was huge. I wouldn't have doubted she'd have went close to 200 pounds on the
I
hook.
would guess at least field dress 160.
Yeah.
Maybe over that.
Yeah,
She was
a giant.
big. Big deer. But
I
yeah.
figured she's come from Saskatchewan or something.
Yeah, right. And those
Again,
Canadian
that's
deer.
big for Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, but overall, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't think a lot of guys were complaining about this year. I've talked about it to no end. I had one of the best years I've had. Just had some pretty crappy luck on one of them and made a bad shot on the other one. But
Good numbers, good success. Guys aren't complaining about antlers. I mean, you're still killing 160s, 170s. You ain't complaining about that. A few people here and there in very isolated spots talk about not seeing the numbers. I don't know what to attribute that to. To me, where we're at in this general area, not just where we're at, but in the general area, I think we need to be careful about population. I think it's getting up there to that point where if we don't start taking care of it, Mother Nature's going to again, and then we're going to be down for another 6 years. I don't want to see that, so I don't know if hopefully the state's on top of that, but I don't have a lot of faith in the state.
But even if like we don't have a big drought or something again in EHD, eventually the amount of food's going to become too low. You know, there's not going to be enough food to go around for all of them, and then you're going to have a bunch of them killed like that.
I'm very surprised that they say Wayne County is ineligible for the doe season that's going on right now. You know, I
don't know where they're coming up with that at.
That's what we was just talking about the other day.
Yep. I mean, Clay County. It's in Clay County. I can't remember if it's in Marion County or not, but I know it's
Hamilton's
in.
got it,
It
don't
is
they?
Marion, Clay, Hamilton. White was, but I'm not. I think they may have pulled that. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, Jefferson and Wayne is not. I have no idea why not.
Edwards?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah. I mean, there's deer everywhere. I can't figure out why we wouldn't, you know.
I don't know what the parameters are for that.
Yeah.
Nate, I wish I did.
Yep. Because
I don't know.
I think it ought to be open, you know.
That would help. I mean, you would see several does shot in that last weekend of the year.
Yep.
Guys that were just going out there filling their last tags they had.
Yep.
And it helped the population for sure.
We've seen several does shot this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the last few days, guys.
Except for mine. But,
Well,
you know.
Guys have started hunting again, just either filling tags or killing time, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, but overall the year, I saw personally, like on cameras. Of course, I ran more cameras this year than I had before, but I had more big deer around this year than I remember having in different places. I had more opportunity to go hunt where I thought I had a legitimate chance at shooting a nice mature buck than I have had in a long time. But not, again, just that the one split 3 buck that I think that's what I had been calling him on the videos and stuff. He'll be a booner, I think. But I mean, other than that, no real monsters. Nothing like 170s, 180s. Nothing like what Nate shoots.
Easy. Easy.
Time out. We need a potty break. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, we're back. We were talking about the deer numbers and stuff in Wayne County and not having the parameters for that. Dad had to step out, go take care of some more important business. But, yeah, I don't know either. That'd be something worth looking up maybe and just trying to find out. Because I got to imagine, knowing Illinois, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's a pretty broad statement right there.
Yeah, the chances are.
I can't help but think just whatever that they could possibly do to generate more permit sales for revenue. You know, I mean
right.
that's as apparent as anything seems to be.
Yep.
You know, how many permits can we sell to make money? You know, I do not think that they care a lick about the deer herd.
Well, now the 23 season, they're going to go to a rifle season at the end.
Technically, if you have a doe season right now, you can use a rifle, correct? Because that went into effect today.
January 1st
January
today.
1st.
Well, yesterday when this comes out, but today as we're recording it.
Correct. I think that I know that like the gun shop, what was it? We'll say 35 miles north of here.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's been selling the crap out of those straight wall cartridge guns. You know,
yeah, I bet.
Single shot specifically, a CVA Scout or whatever. You know, with that single shot barrel on there. I mean, everyone he gets in, somebody will post on there, I want that thing.
It's got to be a 30 caliber or bigger, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, it's got to be straight walled.
Yep.
Oh, it can't be neck down?
Right.
No.
Right.
No. So your 300 Blackouts, 350 Legend seems to be the most popular. 450 Bushmaster, of course, that's up there. I don't know serious specifics, but I mean that's up there close to a 20 gauge slug. You know, a little smaller, but man, you're shooting fast.
Yeah.
And then you can use a bottleneck cartridge, but it's got to be a case length of like 1.6 inches.
Yeah.
None of them are.
Right.
I've heard of a guy with a machine shop that made his own, like a ton of money, you know, and actually had one made to fit those specifications. But your straight walled stuff, 300 Blackout, 350 Legend, 450 Bushmaster. I suppose you could shoot, what is that, like a 45-70? I don't know why you'd want to. And then what, a 30-30?
Yeah.
Well, 30-30 is neck down.
30-30 is a neck.
Okay.
I believe it is. They've got lists out there you can find.
Yep.
Like
but they have got to be single shot, right?
In a single shot configuration. Yeah. A lot of guys I got an AR pistol in 350 Legend. And I mean, as long as it's a single shot, you know, you got to have the bobsled magazine. But you could hunt with it, and that's been, I don't know, like 6 or 8 years probably, because guys have been doing it. You know.
So could you use a Thompson Contender?
I think so. That is a break open single shot.
It's a break open single shot.
Yep.
Pistol.
I think you could. What in any of those straight walled calibers?
Right.
Yeah. If you would get a barrel for it in any of those straight wall calibers,
which that's an old school pistol. I mean,
a
lot of people probably don't even know what a Thompson Contender is anymore. But whenever Illinois first come out with the pistol season back years ago, they're like Leo Green has passed on, and a lot of the old guys that was around here, you know, that's what they hunted with was the Thompson's Contenders.
Yep.
Because you could swap the barrels out.
Correct.
And shoot different cartridges through.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know anything about those old pistol, cartridges. That was legal, and that has been for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the new stuff, straight wall cartridge, you can shoot in a rifle length starting, January 1 right here.
Yep. Which maybe that'll help with some of the numbers too. If you might get more guys out there hunting, maybe give them a little more range. I don't know. Might be a little more lethal.
Slinging lead.
But that'll also be a thing too. There's definitely good and bad with it, but
like I can tell you for sure that if there was a doe season in Wayne County right now, all them guys that has got them guns would be out there and they would be wanting to try them out. Like right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like she's walking down. Maybe it has buttons. Kill it.
Yeah.
How far is that? No, don't worry about it.
Don't matter.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. population control would be actively happening.
Yeah.
If it was open in Wayne County. I know it's happening in Clay County right now. I talked to some guys that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They was
Right.
excited about today.
Yep. You just wanted to talk about that food plot a little bit before we close this thing out.
Yeah, you had mentioned that we timed that just right.
Yeah,
This fall.
at your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down there, that property's south of me, the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right. But I also think that this year we need to think about expanding that,
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't that big of a place. Because I just went in there and bush hogged it
Yeah.
and then just threw some stuff down twice before the rains, and whatever happened. And I actually had some good luck with it. As far as growth, I didn't have no good luck deer hunting it because we got my stand in the wrong tree. I love that tree,
Yeah.
but it's on the wrong, it's not in the right place to hunt that food plot.
Right.
And, they're coming out right on top of me, and, I just don't have any opportunities. They see me or whatever, smell me or whatever before
Mm-hmm.
they even get there. So this spring, what I hope to do is we'll go in there and clear more of it out, expand it out, because the deer's found it.
Yeah.
They know it's there.
Yep.
And they're using it. And even that path that I mowed, to get to that
Right.
stand,
Yeah.
well, they've got a path themselves in the middle of that, about 6 inches wide and about 3 inches deep,
Yeah.
where they've been.
Looks like
running
a
back and
motorcycle
forth.
trail.
Yeah, it looks like motorcycle trails are there.
Huh.
And so what I want to do this spring is clear more of that out, because there's more area that we can bush hog down, work up, plant it to a perennial,
Mm-hmm.
like Grandpa Ray's. Actually, I want to put Grandpa Ray's clover and chicory mix in there. That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put a camera on it. I'm going to get some cell cams this year. Put a cell cam on it, run it all spring and summer, get an idea of what the deer's doing and where they're going, so that way we know where to put the stand at. That'll work to my advantage more than anything. And
Right.
I think I know where it needs to go, but I want to have that proof in the pudding,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yep.
And so that way maybe next year I'll have a better look at it. I think the potential is there to draw the deer off of the neighboring
Yeah.
properties, because evidently I already am.
Yeah.
It's
to some
just-
extent.
Yeah, to some extent I already am. It's just my stand's not where it should be to where I can be effective
Yeah.
with it.
And this is just the second year you've hunted it. And it's the first year with the food plot. So that's
First-
something
yep.
that,
And then of course the crop rotation was right this year too.
yeah.
Next year the crop rotation is going to be different.
But anytime you hunt a new property, or if you do something new like a new
It takes
food
about
plot,
5 years to figure it out.
you're gonna have to make adjustments
Yep.
as you go. I mean, it's not like, well, even when we do consultations, we'll say like this is a good area maybe to start, but if you see them doing something else, you're gonna have to adjust to that.
Yeah.
That's why this stand location is not set in stone.
No.
It's just somewhere that's
And that's what that stand was. We
Yeah.
picked out a good
we
tree.
had a decent idea of maybe what they do.
Yep. And it was a good tree. I mean, it's an ideal tree. It's just
Yeah.
on the wrong side,
Right.
for what the deer is doing.
Yep.
And so I'm going to have to adjust. But like I said, I also want, since they found the annuals, I want to get away from the annuals and put perennials in there. That way they have all year long
Mm-hmm.
to make that their staging area or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And I think if we do that, well, then I'll have a higher success rate there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's definitely some potential down there.
Yeah, there is.
Yep.
There is. I wish I almost want to put a camera back up there, but it's
Yeah.
about done over with right now. So
At this point, it'd be just as good to start again next
the
year.
only reason I'd put one up there now is just to see what's left
Yeah.
and to watch for antler drop.
Mm-hmm.
Where maybe we can go in there and
Yeah, shed hunt it.
do some shed hunting.
Yep.
But
Yep. Well, I think that'll pretty much wrap this one up for this week. We talked about them a couple times. Talk about our partners here a little bit. Grandpa Ray Outdoors. You guys have heard us. You're just talking about their clover and chicory. We're talking about the Inner Sanctum earlier down there in the Sprout Patch on Nate's place. We really like their stuff. They specialize in providing the best nutrition for white-tailed deer on your property, starting with the soil. They've got a full line of high-quality food plot seed and plant foods. They were started in 2015, but John O'Brien, he's been in the seed and nutrition business since the 90s. So we talked to him back on episode 41, I believe. You guys should go check that one out. He's just a wealth of information on this kind of stuff. Him at Grandpa Ray's up there, they've got over 14 or right at 14 different food plot blends to choose from. So whether you're looking for grains, perennials, annuals, switchgrass, even liquid fertilizer, soil test kits, whatever you need, they're going to have it for you. They're not just about their products, though. They'll also answer any questions you might have. And like I said, go check out episode 41 and listen to John talk. You'll have an idea of what you're going to get into if you have any questions for them. He's going to take your situation individually and tell you what's going to be best suited for where you're at, what you need, your soil type, the weather, the climate, all that kind of stuff. So they're really about taking care of their clients as much as anything. Again, we've used their seed blends on client properties and on our own properties, and the results have been as good as advertised. That's why we initially partnered with them in the first place, and that's why we're going to continue to do that. You guys can go check them out at GrandpaRayOutdoors.com and use discount code RHO Podcast to get 5% off your order. Our other partner for the podcast, we don't talk about as much because it's not legal to use their stuff where we're at most of the time. We do use it a little bit over in Missouri, but that's Rack's Big Game Supplements, and they are a veteran-owned company out of Nebraska. They're just regular deer hunters like the rest of us, but they happen to develop some really good, through some research, they developed some really good minerals, protein blocks, pelletized feed, meal feed, all specifically designed for whitetail. So all their products are going to help improve your herd's overall health, and one of their biggest selling points is you're not going to feed the non-target species like raccoons. So it's not stuff you're going to be want to using for your coon traps, but if you want your deer herd to benefit, go get some Rack's Big Game Supplements. And if you want to support us as well, you can use discount code RHO22, and that's capital RHO22 at checkout at racksmineral.com, raksmineral.com, and you'll get 5% off there as well. We also do have a little bit of their stuff left in the shop. So other ways you guys can support us, check out ridgehunteroutdoors.com. If you see anything on there you like, just use the discount code RHO Pod, and that's all caps, and you get 10% off anything on the website. We've also got some articles up there. You can find any of the podcasts on the website. You can see, keep up with like the trophy room, some of the bucks that have been killed using some of our scents and stuff. So that's kind of cool, even if you don't want to use the scents, just see what everybody's killing. Then we've got information about our consulting services on there as well, and management, which we're getting into that time of the year. So if you guys have a property where you're just kind of lost on it, or you didn't have the season you were looking for, or maybe you just want a different set of eyes to look at it and come in and tell you maybe where you can improve it for wildlife management, go to the website, click on the Consulting and Management tab at the top, and that'll have all our information there. You can kind of read about our process, and then give us a call, shoot us a message, whatever you want to do, and we'll help you out with that. Also, some other ways you guys can support without even spending a dime. Go to Apple Podcast and leave us a review. Once we hit 25 reviews, we're going to give away a Wild Game Innovation Spark 2.0 trail camera. We've got a few more on there now, so we appreciate you guys that have gone and done that. It literally takes like 2 minutes of your life to do it. If you've got Apple Podcast, you go on there, just search Ridge Hunter Outdoors Podcast, even if you don't listen to us on there regularly. Scroll to the bottom, leave 1 to 5 stars, and then I'll get you entered. Once we hit 25 reviews, we'll draw a name out of those first 25, and you'll be the winner. Also, you can follow us on Spotify if that's where you listen to us. That way you're updated every time an episode comes out. I know like the last 2 weeks or whatever has been pretty spotty with the holiday season and all that. So if you were wondering when stuff was coming out, if you follow us on there, you'll know it'll send you a notification as soon as we post an episode. Also on YouTube, you can do the same thing. If you subscribe and hit the notification bell on any of our videos you like and comment on those, that helps us out as well. Haven't put up any vlog videos for a while because I haven't been in the woods for a while, so maybe do 1 or 2 more of those this year, hopefully. At least that'll mean I'm out in the woods. So again, thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate you guys. Had some cool stats from 2022 on just through Spotify. We were in the top like 25% or something most shared podcast, I think, and
globally shared.
Yes, and up there as far as followers go as well. So in our category, really appreciate you guys. We grew a lot in 2022, and
I couldn't imagine.
We're on pace to keep doing that in 2023. And that's thanks to everybody who's out there listening to us and putting up with us week in and week out. So we appreciate you guys sticking with us even through the times where we don't get stuff put up quite as consistently as we'd like. And we're looking forward to a good year in 2023.
Absolutely.
So we'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.